Welcome to SV Union High School and Junior College.
Welcome students. Standard 6 History, Chapter number 9 Ancient Kingdoms of the South. So today we are going to learn the new lesson, that is chapter number 9 Ancient Kingdoms of the South. So let us start, children. In this lesson we are going to learn about the 6 important points. First one is the Chair, Pandya and the Chola dynasties. Second, the Satvahana dynasty. Third, the Vakataka dynasty. Fourth, the Chalukya dynasty. Fifth, the Pallava dynasty. And sixth, the Rashtrakud dynasty. Let us start with the first point, that is the Chair, Pandya and Chola dynasties. Of the many dynasties in South India, 3 are mentioned in the literature of those times, and these are Chair, Pandya and Chola dynasties. You can see in the picture, I have highlighted the territories in red which were being conquered by the Chola, Pandya and Chair dynasties. These dynasties were in power around the 4th century BCE or even before that. They find mention in the Ramayana and Mahabharata epics. They have also been mentioned in the Sangam literature in Tamil and in the inscription of the Mauryan Emperor Ashoka. In the Periples of the Erythraean Sea, Muziris is mentioned as an important port on the coast of Kerala. So Muziris is a port which is in Kerala, which is on the coast of Kerala, and this port is mentioned in the book. The name of the book is Periples of the Erythraean Sea. This port was in Chair Kingdom and was a major center for the export of spices, pearls, precious stone, etc. to Rome in Italy and to other countries of the West. The Pandya Kingdom was a part of today's Tamil Nadu. There was a great demand for their high quality pearls. Pearls means what, children? Moti. The capital of this kingdom was Madurai. The ancient kingdom of the Cholas occupied the region of Tiruchirappalli in Tamil Nadu. The states of Tamil Nadu and Kerala were being conquered by Chair, Chola and Pandya dynasties. Let us start with the next point, that is 9.2, the Satvahana dynasty. The next dynasty is Satvahana dynasty. After the decline of the Mauryan Empire, the local kings in Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, they also became independent and they established their small kingdoms of their own. One of these was the Satvahana dynasty. So children, the present day Maharashtra, the states of Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra and Karnataka, they were being conquered by the Satvahana dynasty. You can see in the picture the territories which were being conquered by the Satvahana dynasty. Pratishthan, or the present day Paitan in Maharashtra, was their capital. King Simukh was the founder of the Satvahana dynasty. The inscription in the Nane Ghat caves near Junnar in Pune district bear the names of the important persons of this dynasty. Some of the Satvahana kings were known to write their mother's name before their own. For example, Gautami Putra Satkarni. That means Gautami Putra means what? Putra means son. So Gautami is the name of the mother here. Gautami Putra Satkarni. So here the kings, they would write their mother's name in front of their name, or before their name they would write their mother's name. Of the Satvahana kings, Gautami Putra Satkarni is particularly well known. A stone inscription in a cave at Nashik describes his deeds of valor. Valor means bravery. He had defeated the Shaka king Nahapana. He is described as Trisamudra Toyapitvahan. Toya means water. The title means one whose horses have drunk the water of 3 seas. Trisamudra means 3 seas. Toya means water, Pit means to drink, and Vahan means the horses. So that means one whose horses have drunk the water of 3 seas means Trisamudra Toyapith Vahan. The three seas are the Arabian Sea, the Bay of Bengal, and the Indian Ocean. During his reign, the empire of the Satavahanas extended from the river Narmada in the north to the Tungabhadra river in the south. The famous poetic work Gatha Saptashati in Maharashtri, a Prakrit language, was composed by the Satavahana king Hala. This work provides information about the life of the people during the Satavahana period. Indian trade increased greatly during the Satavahana period. Paitan, Ter, Bhokardan, Kolhapur were recognized as important centers of trade. During this period, many artistic objects were produced at these places. Indian goods were exported as far away as Rome. Some of the Satavahana coins carry images of ships. The cave sculptures at Ajanta, Nashik, Karla, Bhaje, Kanhere, Junnar in Maharashtra were carved during the Satavahana period. Do you know Nane Pass, that is Nane Ghat? The mountain pass, part of Junnar Murbad, joining Pune and Thane districts, is known as Nane Ghat. This 5-kilometer long road was built about 2000 years ago during the rule of the Satavahanas. It used to be one of the main trade routes between the Konkan coast and the Deccan plateau, which was called as Desh. It was used for trade and transport. A carved picture, that is Ranjan, can still be seen there. Statues of the Satavahana kings and some ancient inscriptions are to be found in the caves at Nane Ghat. Descriptions of the donations given by the Satavahana kings and queens are to be found in the cave inscriptions. So children, if you have gone to the Nane Ghat, you might have seen the inscriptions, the written matter, that is the donations which were being given by the Satavahana kings and the queen. Let us see the next point, that is 9.3, the Vakataka dynasty. The power of the Satavahanas began to weaken by the 3rd century CE. Among the dynasties that emerged after that, the Vakataka was a powerful dynasty. It was founded by the king Vindhya Shakti. King Vindhya Shakti was succeeded by Pravarsen I. After his death, the kingdom of the Vakatakas got divided. There were two main branches. The capital of the first was at Nandivardhan near Nagpur, and the capital of the other branch was at Vatsagulm, which is today's Washim. Pravarsen I, who was the son of Vindhya Shakti, extended the Vakataka kingdom in the north up to Malwa and Gujarat, and in the south up to Kolhapur. At that time, Kolhapur was known as Kuntal. We have read that the Gupta emperor Chandragupta II had married his daughter Prabhavati to Rudrasen II, the Vakataka king. So, Gupta emperor, that is Chandragupta II, had married his daughter Prabhavati to Rudrasen II. Who was Rudrasen? Rudrasen II was a Vakataka king. Varahadev, who was a minister of the Vakataka king Harishen, Varahadev was a follower of Buddhism. Cave number 16 at Ajanta was dug at his instance. Some other caves at Ajanta were dug and beautified with paintings during Harishena's reign. The Vakataka king Pravarsen II composed Setubandha in Maharashtri, a Prakrit language. Similarly, Kalidasa's Meghdut also belongs to this period. Let us see the next point, that is the fourth one, the Chalukya dynasty. The Chalukya dynasty in Karnataka was a powerful one. The kingdoms of Kadamba, Kalachuri had become powerful after the decline of the Vakatakas. But the Chalukya kings established their dominance over all of them. Pulkeshi first established the rule of the Chalukya dynasty in the 6th century CE. His capital was Badami, which was earlier called Vatapi. The Chalukya king Pulkeshi II had successfully repulsed Emperor Harshavardhan's invasion. The famous temple at Badami, Aihole, and Pattadakhal were built during the Chalukya period. Let us see the next point, that is 9.5, the Pallava dynasty. The Pallavas were also a powerful dynasty in South India. Kanchipuram in Tamil Nadu was their capital. So the Pallava dynasty was a powerful dynasty ruling in Tamil Nadu. Kanchipuram was its capital. Mahendravarman was an able Pallava ruler. He expanded the Pallava kingdom. He was also a playwright. Playwright means a person who writes plays. Mahendravarman's son, Narasimhavarman, repulsed the attack on his kingdom by the Chalukya king Pulkeshi II. The famous Ratha temples of Mahabalipuram were sculpted during his reign, that is, Narasimhavarman's reign. These temples have been sculpted in single rock. Children, you can see the picture, that is the Ratha or the chariot temple at Mahabalipuram. Here you can see this temple is being sculpted from a single rock. The Pallavas had a powerful and well-equipped navy. During this period, India came in close contact with the countries of Southeast Asia. Internal and foreign trade flourished. Yuan Chuang had visited Kanchi and recorded that people of all religions received tolerant and just treatment under the rule of the Pallava kings. Now let us go on the next point, that is 9.6, the Rashtrakuta dynasty. King Dantidurg, the Rashtrakuta king, established their first power in Maharashtra. At the height of their power, the dominion of the Rashtrakuta dynasty extended from the Vindhya mountains up to Kanyakumari in the south. Krishnaraja I had a famous Kailas temple carved at Ellora. Up to now, we have learned about the different dynasties that ruled ancient India. In the next lesson, we will review the social and cultural life in ancient India. Do you know Periplus of the Erythraean Sea? A periplus is a handbook. The Erythraean Sea is the Red Sea. For the Greeks, the Indian Ocean and the Persian Gulf were also a part of the Red Sea. Periplus of the Erythraean Sea is a handbook of the Red Sea. It was written sometime in the 1st century CE. The sailor who wrote it lived in Egypt. The Periplus gives information about the trade that went on along the Indian coastline, the Persian Gulf, and Egypt. Ports like Barigaza, that is Badoch, Nala Sopara, Kalyan, Muziris are mentioned in the Periplus. Muziris was a port near Kochi in Kerala. This ancient port does not exist anymore. Students, now we will end up here. I hope so you all have understood the lesson. Please read the lesson from the textbook. Please comment me in my comment box. Keep watching my videos. Thanks a lot for watching my video till the end.